Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 3T Path channel, and welcome back to our Uddhava-gita course. Now we are in a beautiful chapter of the Uddhava-gita where Krishna is talking about bhakti, how to get deep into bhakti, why bhakti is so powerful, and what the results are, how it works, what the components are for you to be able to be situated in the highest levels of bhakti yoga. So it's a very important text, very beautiful, very sweet, and I hope you will enjoy it today. And also, if you want to watch all the previous classes, make sure you become a member of this channel, and the instructions are here below in the description of the video. And also check out Uddhava-gita.com if you want to see the whole course organized. We have so many classes now. We have 70 classes already in this course, if I'm not mistaken. And so there's a lot of classes for you to watch. Make sure you catch up with that. Now, we are in the 11th canto, 14th chapter, in verse 13. Let me get to verse 13 here. Here we go. So, Krishna says to Uddhava, "One who does not desire anything within this world, who has achieved peace by controlling his senses, whose consciousness is equal in all conditions, and whose mind is completely satisfied in me, finds only happiness wherever he goes." So Krishna gives us this little, recipe for finding only happiness. Now, it's not so easy, so let's look at the details here. First thing, but you're going to see it all ties in, so it's going to make a little bit more sense when you understand like what's it coming from, because there's a list of things here, but they all actually arise from one single thing. So let's go through them. So first item in the list, one who does not desire anything within this world. And he's going to talk about that more in the next verses. Now, how does that work? I mean, we desire so many things, right? We're going around and I want this car and that phone and that money and that, person and that situation and that vacation. We're just desiring so many things all the time. So how does that work? Well, this doesn't desire anything in this world. It's because obviously you're now desiring something not of this world. And that is transcendence. When you desire something beyond this world, when you desire something that's not of this world, then you're no longer desiring something within this world. So the yogi, his mind is fixed beyond matter, transcending matter. So what the yogi wants is always related to, and specifically the bhakti yoga, to Krishna. So the bhakti yogi, the devotee, he always wants something related to Krishna. So therefore it's no longer within this world. What the yogi wants is to feel that love, that connection. That's what the yogi wants. He wants to serve Krishna, to keep his mind focused on Krishna. So because he's feeling more pleasure from that love, from that connection, the other things in this world, which are fun, they're fine, they're no longer as attractive. So he wants whatever he may even want or do something here in this world, but he wants the most is to be with Krishna. So what the person wants the most is to be with Krishna, to feel that connection with Krishna. And that takes precedence. That's the most important thing. So that's why you're no longer separately desiring things within this world, because now you've got something else higher, better, more pleasurable, which you are constantly desiring, which is to love and serve Krishna. So that's the first item. Second item, who has achieved peace by controlling his senses. Now that's also a huge ask. I mean, items 1 and 2 are like, what? It is so hard, right? Controlling your senses, what are you talking about? But again, it becomes easy once you have something else to go with. So now that you're focused, now that you're developing your connection with Krishna, your love, your bhakti, what happens is, and this is something that's been talked about for centuries, and people have noticed, it's like you don't even have to really separately emphasize morals and ethics and doing the right thing. You don't have to worry about that so much, because naturally, it's a natural consequence of being connected with Krishna. Naturally, your behavior is already good. Just because there's no source impelling you, there's no motor impelling you towards evil behavior, towards doing the wrong things. In other words, not having control of your senses and doing the wrong things and hurting people, because you're thinking of Krishna, and Krishna is everybody's best friend. Krishna is, he brings Dharma, he comes down to explain Dharma. It's the wrong vibe. If I'm loving someone who is, it's God, all good, all perfect, the source of all joy within every living creature, the father and mother and grandfather of every soul, then there's no space anymore, there's no option within my mind to do something evil to her, because you can't fit the two things at the same time. You can't be like, wanting to serve Krishna, feeling that loving connection with Krishna, and being evil and doing the wrong things. And you see, it just automatically, and you'll see this come up over and over again, this topic of how through bhakti, if you can develop a powerful enough bhakti connection with Krishna, through that, automatically, you hear that word, automatically, all these other things fall in line. It's really weird. Now, if you were to no bhakti, forget it. I'm just going to control my senses now. That's a big endeavor. That's like I don't think you're going to make it. It's really big endeavor. Again, also with not desiring anything within the world. I mean, without bhakti, without that, that's a big ask, that's, it's not going to work, because you have to desire, where's your desire power going to go? Where's, the natural tendency of a soul to desire? Where's that going to go? Where are you going to get your the bliss from, the juice from? Where are you going to, you're going to end up desiring things. So it's but with bhakti, automatically you're getting these things. Of course, if you're starting, sure, we can also work on those things, let me just sure, in the beginning, you don't have so much love and bhakti that you're automatically doing these things. So then you do a separate effort. Okay, let's control my senses. Oh, no, I shouldn't do that. That's not correct. I want to progress. So in the beginning, you're using reason. In the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali talks about this as well, like how in the beginning you have to use more reason, you have to use reasoning and logic to keep the mind in the right place, but then later you can just throw that away, you won't need that anymore. So, okay, second item, achieved peace by controlling his senses. 3, whose consciousness is equal in all conditions. Wow, this list is so crazy, right? These really hard things. So Krishna says, this person will only find happiness wherever he goes. But man, the first 3 items are really hard, right? So now we have consciousness is equal in all conditions. This is called equanimity. This is a huge topic of Bhagavad-gita. It's always there. It's always there in here Uddhava-gita as well. Huge topic. Equanimity. What does that mean? Your consciousness is equal in all conditions. What does that mean? That means that stuff out here is varying all the time, right? It's sunny, it's rainy, it's cold, it's hot, it's like you get good news, you get bad news, you get a jerk, you get a lovely person, there's all these things varying all the time, it's like you get a good movie, you get a bad movie, you're sick, you're healthy, it's just, it's night, it's day, this stuff is always changing here. So does that mean then your consciousness, like if you're in materia, if your mind is connected to the surface, if your mind is just, if you're a full-blown materialist, what happens is your mind, your consciousness is going to go along with that. So when things are good, you're good. When things are bad, you're bad. When good, bad. And you're just in this roller coaster ride of life. And, a lot of it's just like bad, bad, and then worse, and then bad. It can get pretty scary. The roller coaster can become like one of those scary roller coasters. It's like it's just bad, 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 worse. But so then you're like, I can't take it. So it's really horrible. So there's no peace. But in yoga, Krishna is always talking about equanimity, being equal in all situations. What does that mean then? That means that how is that even possible? How can I mean, if stuff isn't equal here, how can I be equal in here? Again, because your mind is now fixed on something else which is equal. And that's the trick. So now I'm going to shift my focus, my happiness setting won't be, my happiness equation won't have a variable called what's going on. I'm going to remove that variable from my equation. And the only thing I'm going to have in my equation is Krishna, and my desire to perform my dharma in bhakti. So it's just dharma and bhakti. So whatever situation I find myself in, there's always my dharma. That's the beauty of focusing on dharma. So we take this step back, we focus on dharma. Dharma means, okay, whatever this is, whatever's going on, what's the best response that I can give according to my nature, according to who I am, my swabhava. What's my best response? So that's my dharma. So there's always my dharma. There's always, it doesn't matter what's going on. I mean, you could be in a North Korean concentration camp, you could be like winning the Oscars. It doesn't matter where you are, what's going on. There's always your dharma. There's always the best of you that can be applied there. And of course, on top of that, bhakti, Krishna. We're focused on Krishna. We're doing our dharma because we want to do that as a loving offering to Krishna. That's our connection. It's karma yoga. That's what Krishna teaches Arjuna in Bhagavad-gita. We want to always do our action as a loving offering to Krishna. So now, if that's all I'm doing is dharma and bhakti, hey, that's the same thing. That is equal, right? It's always dharma. Oh, is it really nice? What do you do? Dharma and bhakti. Oh, it's really tough. What do you do? Dharma and bhakti. You had a car accident. Dharma and bhakti. Oh, you just won the lottery. Dharma and bhakti. It's always dharma and bhakti. There's always this one response to life, which is doing my best and maintaining my loving connection, feeling my connection, offering my actions to Krishna. So then I can have equanimity. It's one state of mind, dharma and bhakti, in all situations. So again, you see, it's if you take out the bhakti element, it's such a tough, what an ask, like maintaining your consciousness equal in all conditions. What? I mean, without transcendence, without the concept of something beyond, that's practically impossible unless you're like brain dead. It's just like, it seems impossible. So all these three items, they seem impossible until you go beyond, until you understand this power of the mind to transcend, practice yoga to go beyond. Now, not quite over yet. Now there's a fourth item. And whose mind is completely satisfied in me. So then, do you notice the other ones? The other ones were mundane, they were applied to the world. I mean, we were seeing how transcendence made them possible, but they were all about the world. They weren't, strictly speaking, spiritual. They were all material. I'll read them to you in case you missed that. So the first thing, not desiring anything within this world. That's a material qualification. Who has achieved peace by controlling his senses. Controlling your senses, that is a material thing. You could, like a person who never heard of God could do that. Person who doesn't even believe in the existence of the soul could do these things. They could desire nothing, they could achieve peace by controlling their senses, and they could have their mind, their consciousness equal in all conditions. So these past three items were, that's just like, it's just, we're talking about stuff here in the material world. You could achieve them. Again, really hard to achieve them without transcendence, without Krishna, really hard. But you could do it. But basically you couldn't do it without Krishna, without bhakti. Maybe if you were born, like many births, you could do it. But this with Krishna, then we can all try, we can all go for it. Then the fourth item here, whose mind is completely satisfied in me. Now that gives the bliss. That just adds, it's just pure bliss. Now that's the bliss moment. That's when you're doing everything and your mind is completely satisfied in Krishna. And that's bhakti. Bhakti gives you that. Bhakti gives you that permanent buzz. You get a permanent buzz of joy, of bliss, of connection. As long as you're connected, you're feeling it. It doesn't end, it doesn't run out, it doesn't get boring, it only gets better. It's a really weird thing. You have to try it yourself to figure it out. It's funny. It's just like, what is that thing? How can there be something that you do and always gives you that buzz of bliss? And you can do it all day long. You can do it for decades. I've been on this path for pretty much 30 years. And it's like, so it's going to get boring after, a year or a month. No, it gets better. So how is that even, how can something keep giving like that decade after decade and just getting better? It's really weird. You have to try it yourself to believe it. So your mind is completely satisfied in me. Now, the four of them together, wow, now this is like a super powerful equation for happiness. And then Krishna says, if this person finds only happiness wherever they go, how would you not, right? You got it all covered. You're all set. So this is a beautiful verse, isn't it? Just one verse. If we can just understand this one verse, you're good to go. It's such a wonderful text, the Uddhava-gita. Purport. A devotee who is always meditating upon Lord Krishna experiences transcendental sound, touch, form, flavor, and aroma in the pastimes of the Lord. These sublime perceptions are certainly due to the causeless mercy of Lord Krishna upon one whose mind and senses are completely satisfied in him. Such a person finds only happiness wherever he goes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives the example that when a very wealthy man travels all over the world, at every place he stays, he always enjoys the same luxurious standard of comfort. Similarly, one who has developed Krishna consciousness is never separated from happiness because Lord Krishna is all-pervading. The word kinchana indicates that so-called enjoyable things of this world. One who is akinchana has correctly understood that material sense gratification is simply the glare of illusion. And therefore such a person is dantasya, or self-controlled, shantasya, or peaceful, and maya santushta manasa, or completely satisfied with his transcendental experience of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. really good stuff, isn't it? Okay. Verse 14. One who has fixed his consciousness on me desires neither the position or abode of Lord Brahma or Lord Indra, nor an empire on the earth, nor sovereignty in the lower planetary systems, nor the eightfold perfection of yoga, nor liberation from birth and death. Such a person desires me alone. Now this is a very important topic, because how do you get to this point? How do you get to not desire anything? Now, the way you do that is because now you've gotten something entirely different that's much better. It's on a completely different sphere of existence. We have the material world. You have all the things you can do in the material with your senses. You can try to enjoy things you see, you touch, you smell, you lick, you eat, whatever. So all the stuff you try to enjoy here is one set of experiences. And you can, we've been trying life after life. We've been like going here and there and reincarnating here and there. You notice this verse is one of those cool verses where it's, it's very cosmological, right? Krishna's talking about, abode of Lord Brahma, of Lord Indra, the lower planetary systems. We're talking about the whole universe. This is like this isn't limited to planet Earth. This is what I love about this tradition. It's not like a little, limited, small-minded thing. We're talking about the whole universe here. So you don't want to go to Lord Brahma's planet. This is the topmost, this is the penthouse of the universe. Lord Brahma's planet is the penthouse of the universe. It's like really good. It's like the best, right? This is Lord Brahma, he made it. I mean, this is his universe, the best. Lord Indra, so much power, Lord of the heavens, but no, you don't want that. Oh, what about an empire on earth? High control, an empire on earth. No. Or, going out space-wise again, sovereignty in the lower planetary systems, so like, owning entire planets. No. So, or even, because we're talking about yoga here, the eightfold perfection of yoga, all this mystic power, the power to manifest anything, to be as big as you want and as small as you want, and to be able to control things and control people, basically like almost having like God-like power over matter. You just shape matter to your will. But no, a person who has bhakti doesn't want these things. Why? How is this possible? It's because now you've experienced something better. It's like, how can it be better? Yes, it's better than all this. As you may, I don't know what kind of life you've had, but as you try to enjoy life, one thing you'll notice is that there's a very hard limit to pleasure. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, that wonderful meal. But, there's just like so much pleasure you can take from it. It's like, there's like a hard cap on that. There's like that much pleasure. It's nice, it's good, oh yummy, you're making yummy sounds at every bite. But, it's like that much, it's not like unbound pleasure. It's like, okay, that was, there's a limit to it. Sex, you can have like a most wonderful sex and you have multiple organs, but it's like there's still a cap, right? It's like it's that much, and then it's and then it's done. It's like the time-wise, it's limited. It's like the level of pleasure, the amount of time you can be experiencing that maximum pleasure. All these things are capped. They're limited. And then there's always the consequences of whatever you do here. Like whatever nice thing you do, there are consequences, right? Not such nice ones. Like you want to go to a wonderful restaurant. So you can have like the most amazing meal. So then, for one thing, you have to be somewhere where there is such a place. Because most restaurants are just kind of crummy, right? It's like whatever. But then you finally get there, and then you have to have a lot of money, because if it's that good, it's going to be super expensive. So now you're spending like huge amounts of money, which you had to work so hard for. That wasn't fun. And then you have to drive to the place, and driving is a pain, you know, it's always annoying. Even if you have like a chauffeured Rolls Royce, it's still a pain. You have to sit there in traffic, and you have to deal with the chauffeur, and you know, it's still a pain. So then you get somewhere, and then you're waiting for the meal, right? You have to sit down, and you have to order it, and you have to get dressed for the place, you know, because it's a nice dress. It's like a really nice, you probably have to get dressed for it. So there's all these inconveniences, and then finally, oh, that was amazing. But then it's over, then you swallow it, it's gone. That's it. It's like, it didn't do anything for you while it was on the plate. Well, maybe it looked nice, but it didn't do much for you on the plate. And then it was really nice here, and then you swallowed it, it's gone. But it's not gone. Now it's inside you, you have to digest it. And then you get fat from it, or whatever, you get indigestion. It's just all these inconveniences from that simple pleasure of just trying to get a good meal. And sex, you know, there's a lot of inconvenience. You know, there's so many things, there's so many problems. You have to have everything right and set up, and the right person, and it doesn't work out, and divorce. And oh God, you know. And then maybe you have an unwanted pregnancy. There's like a lot of things involved for that moment. And then there's the thing before and the thing after. But you know, it's just like it's all limited. It's very limited. So whatever pleasure we get, it's all limited. But with spiritual pleasure, what happens is once you connect, once you experience what I talked about in this, you know, just in the beginning of this class, once you have this connection, once you've tried, and again, we can talk about it, but you have to try it. Once you get that love, because it's love. And that's the highest thing for the soul, is to love. It's a spiritual experience. It's not like the senses. It's not like a pleasure that has to go through all these crass, limited, physical things. It's from the soul. It's from within. It's love. So then it's like a completely, again, a completely different sphere, a completely different level of thing. It's just a different vibration level. It's separated. It's something else completely. It's love, it's that bliss. So when you've gotten that, when you experience that, you're in a situation now where all that other stuff, it's not as good. As Krishna says, the higher taste. It's like a higher taste that's better than anything you will ever get here. You just understand, like, no, the whole thing is messed up. The whole thing is wrong. I will never get, through my senses, through material experience, I will never, ever get what I'm getting here. You see? Different ball game, separate. And therefore, once you start getting that thing, and what to speak of when you get really good at it, when you really open up the channel and you can really connect with Krishna, with love, when you get that, then you don't want anything else here. That's why you get a verse like this. That's why you get a verse where somebody can say that they don't want anything in the universe. I don't want to live in Lord Brahma's planet, Indra. I don't want to be Indra. I don't want to be an emperor. I don't want anything here. Because I'm accessing something else which is much better, which, by the way, doesn't come with the negative consequences. Again, like the material stuff, it's like you're an emperor. That doesn't even sound good to me anymore. But anyway, maybe it sounds good to you. The person's gonna. For me, it sounds awful. Just to think of all the intrigue, and so many people trying to assassinate me. I would hate that so much. Being like some powerful guy like Putin, I would hate that so much, because like, oh my God, so many people are trying to assassinate me. Just that would suck, right? But anyway, so even if you're like, okay, you want to be an emperor, so well, probably today you just want to be like a Hollywood movie star or something. But so there's so many inconveniences from that. Right? So many inconvenient aspects of that. But again, with bhakti, with love, there's nothing. There's no inconvenience. There's no downside. There's no, oh, but that, you know, to get that I have to do this thing. No. It's just love. It just keeps flowing. It's automatic. It doesn't require anything. It doesn't depend on anything outside your control. You have God, who's Krishna, infinitely attractive. And you're just loving an infinitely attractive person who's everywhere. And you're everywhere. And who always exists. And you always exist. And who'll always exist. And you will always exist. There's nothing stopping you. There's nothing that gets in the way. There's no separation. God is with you always and has always been and is everywhere. So there's nowhere you can go where Krishna won't be. You see, no downside, all good. In the material world, lots of downsides. Sure, some good, but limited good. Bliss, unlimited, it keeps getting better. Anyway, so that's why the person can be like this. And the person doesn't want even liberation from birth and death. Such a person desires me alone, because that's the best thing. Let's just read this quick purport. The position of the akinchana, pure devotee, is described in this verse. Sri Priyavrata Maharaj is an example of a great devotee who was not interested in universal sovereignty, because his love was completely absorbed in the lotus feet of the Lord. Even the greatest material enjoyment appears most insignificant and useless to a pure devotee of the Lord. So let's stop here and have a rest of your day with lots of peace and lots of love. Hare Krishna.